Hey, what's up? It's Clark, and in this video, I want to show you how to get out of your head. We're going to be talking about stinking thinking, overthinking, and how to reduce it or get rid of it extremely powerful way in under 3 seconds. You're probably someone who overthinks if you clicked on this video, but if you're someone who rehearses your order before you get to the Starbucks line and then you order it, double non-fat, mocha, frappuccino, whatever, that's overthinking. If you're someone who's driving a car and instead of focusing on the road, you're like looking around, oh, what's that? Is that a pawn shop over there? Oh, I didn't see that store before. Like, that's overthinking. If you're someone who is in a conversation, it's you and them, or you're talking to a girl or maybe just anyone, right? And you're processing, okay, what are they gonna say next? What am I gonna say next? And you're not really like there listening. That's an example of overthinking. And here's why it's actually bad. And I wouldn't even label it bad or a problem, because that's gonna exacerbate it and make it worse. What I would label it as is not you. You're not your thoughts. You're not your feelings. You just are you. If you're overthinking right now, I want you to imagine, picture this, okay? You literally have like your feet sunken into 2 cinder blocks, all right? And you're trying to move through life. Like, you can finish the race like that, but how much more tired are you gonna be? How much more effort is it gonna take? How much faster could you move if you didn't have those cinder blocks at all? I think one of the reasons men particularly struggle with overthinking in my coaching that I've worked with a lot of guys, right? And it comes up over and over again is this like pressure. This pressure to do things the right way. And if you extrapolate and go deeper beneath the surface, right? Because everyone's got 2 reasons for doing something. The reason that sounds good and the real one, right? And you look at guys, and I think a lot of guys struggle with this concept of leaving a mark, okay? I think it was Immanuel Kant, philosopher. I'm not saying a dirty word, it was a Kant. And he calls them immortality projects. That death scares us. It scares our ego. The fact that you're not gonna exist and in 2 generations, let's just be blunt, this is really creepy. You can kind of go into an existential crisis with this. No one's gonna remember us, okay? Literally in 2 generations, like, do you remember your great-great-great-grandfather? Even though he's directly related to you? No. Most people can't even name the middle 20 US presidents, right? They only recall the couple and the first ones, right? The most recent ones and the first ones. But like, you can't even name the middle ones. Yeah, you can look them up, but even people who made it to the freaking top on a daily basis, nobody remembers them. Even if you see a statue, do you really know that person? No. So this is crazy to our ego, because if we're like, well, I'm building this business to be remembered. I'm doing these videos to be remembered. I have to be remembered beyond, when I'm gone. Otherwise, why does my life exist? That's all ego. And once you can drop that immortality complex and go after what you really want, you know what that is? And this is so simple and so crazy. It's the present moment. It's the power of now. Now, this is what you really want. You do not want $1 million. You do not want a statue named after you, or a library named after your name, or some perfect event that happens and corresponds, because guess what? 2 things happen. You get used to it if it's good. We know this, we adapt and it changes. Or you get it and you realize what you wanted all along was the feeling that gives you more presence, more security, so you could be here now. That's it. So when you ditch the needing for a statue, immortality complex, I need to be president, I need to be number 1, and you just accept that the reason you want all of that all along is for right here, right now. And that all you're overthinking is the cinder blocks holding you down, and that a lot of anxiety is just coming from looking in the future and trying to chess maneuver your way to having an easier outcome, or things go your way, or it's really being a control freak, to be honest, when I have it, right? It's like, it has to go this way, and if it doesn't, then I'll do X, Y, and Z, and here's my plan B, C, D. Just drop it and just release it and just take some breaths. Just that is what you really want. I want to draw something up on the handy dandy chalkboard right here for you and explain this next concept and get into some tactical stuff and give you that 3-second rule I promised. So let's talk about your brain on overthinking. What does it actually do? Here's a very overthinking way to explain overthinking for all you overthinkers. You have 4 predominant brainwaves. This is very tactical stuff you can use and it'll shift a lot. And if you've heard this in other videos, great, you need to hear it again and I'll give you a new spin on it. First is you have beta waves, then you have alpha waves, then you have theta waves, and then you have delta waves, okay? Now these all are different cycles throughout the day and each one will move you lower and lower and lower. Beta waves are very high strung, okay? If you ever experience overthinking, they look something like this. Very neurotic throughout the day. Most people spend their waking day in a beta wave state, okay? Conscious. Next up, let's talk about alpha waves. They're slower, okay, but they're still kind of peaks and valleys. But see how that waveform is calmer than that? Energy drinks put you here, stress puts you here, adrenaline puts you here, and so does overthinking. Alpha waves, although still kind of peaks and valleys, they're much slower. You're much more calm here. If you've ever been in a state where you feel like you're flowing or things don't bother you as much as they used to, you're probably in an alpha state right here, and that's good. But there's one that's better, and that is theta state right here. This is harder to get into, but it's much longer right here. And the waveform looks more like this. Now, which one of these 3 people looks the most calm and chill to you? Which one looks like they have the least cinder blocks on their feet? Definitely the theta, right? Delta, just for the sake of explaining this video, it's very low and slow. It looks like a big, long sonic wave, right? And this is like what deep monks can get into in meditation. It's not really relevant for this video. Now, you're probably thinking, well, how do I get into a theta or alpha state and out of beta? Because guess what? When you're out of this, you're way less likely to just react throughout the day. I forget the philosopher who said it, but he said most people just react. They react all day. They get in traffic. Oh, someone cut me off. I'll react by flipping them off, speeding up, and cutting them back. So-and-so said something at the office or work, pissed me off. Oh, great. I'll think about it all day. You know, alpha state is more responding. Right? It's easy to react, it's harder to respond, and then the third choice is to choose. So how do you get from beta, alpha, and then into alpha and theta right here? I'll give you some tips and that 3-second rule right now. This starting to make sense? Putting some science behind actual overthinking. If you like this concept, smash that like button down below. Let's keep going. So I mentioned in the start of this video that you are not your thoughts. You are not your feelings, you just are. And this is very powerful. I actually got this from Eckhart Tolle in The Power of Now. I was rereading this for our book summary. He tells a story about how he fell in this deep depression, like wanted to kill himself. His world was over. He just had all this anxiety. He had all this, just pain inside of him. And he was sitting there on a park bench watching things. And he's like, you know what? I can't live with myself anymore. And he said, wait, let me look at that sentence. I cannot live with myself. Are there 2 of me or 1 of me? Because if I cannot live with myself, then by definition, there's 2 people. There's the I and myself. And that's when he realized that his ego, or the overthinking brain, right? The do this, hey, they're watching you, hey, they're making fun of you, all this chatter we have going on throughout the day. If I say this, they say that, right? That is not you at your core. There's something else there. That's just an illusion. That's a smoke and mirror. And when you remove the smoke, you see the mirror and you see yourself as you really are, which is none of that. The 3-second rule is this. It comes from this as well. To separate yourself from the I and myself, to separate yourself from that reactive beta state that we just drew up and showed you, realize and accept that you're not your thoughts and observe them when they come up. Meditation helps a ton with this. I remember the first couple times I was meditating, it's really hard. And like I was researching it, right? Because the overthinking brain does that. I'm like, how to meditate? Okay, let me buy this course on meditation. Let me download this app to meditate. Let me get guided meditations. And then I realized there's no right or wrong way to do it. You just are. The biggest wrong way to do it is thinking there's a right way to do it and that you're doing it wrong. And the entire goal of meditation, the Tibetans say, the word for meditate comes over there. It means to become familiar with. Okay, how cool is that? To become familiar with. That's all you're doing when you meditate. You're not staring at freaking crystals and lighting sage and chanting kumbaya and om frequencies. You don't need to do any of that. You just need to become familiar with. And the whole goal is just to observe it. Next time you catch yourself rehearsing your order at Starbucks or being all in your head or having like brain fog or just overthinking or so stressed out, step back. Okay, realize you're not your thoughts, you're not your feelings, you just are the I and myself. Step back from that for a minute. And for just 3 seconds, look at it. Okay, so an example, let's just use the traffic one that we can all relate to, okay? They speed up, they cut you off. Instead of reacting in that beta state of, oh my God, I gotta get them back, I gotta, and having it bother you, or someone says something to you, look at that objectively for 3 seconds and say, okay, they cut me off in traffic. Does that mean I'm a bad person? They don't know me. I'm in an aluminum box going 50 miles an hour on a government freeway. Like, they don't know anything about me. Remember that 3-second rule. That anytime you're starting to feel yourself, oh, here comes the train, oh, it's catching off, here it comes, oh, it's going that way, the negative thinking train, the overthinking train, the anxiety train, catch it and be like, no, let me observe that train for 3 seconds. Let me step back from it, remove myself from the I and myself. Let me step back, just like a cloud passing, like we've said this whole video, right? And just observe it. That's my challenge to you. I want you, for the rest of the day when you're watching this video, just try this out, okay? After you're done watching this video, just try this out. Anytime you catch yourself going off in something that's not here right now, just catch yourself, look at it for 3 seconds, and if it doesn't serve you, guess what? It's not gonna serve you after 3 seconds, so congratulations. Even catching yourself overthinking is a positive, it's not a negative. Okay, it's a positive because now you can just, okay, let that train go, and then just be here now, which is why we do everything and why we want everything at the end of the day. All right. Threw a lot out at you. Hopefully you like this video. Smash that like button, subscribe if you're not already with the bell notification set to on, and in the link below, I have a free course for you. It's my gift. I come bearing gifts. It's the Law of Attraction in Action, our free course that will teach you how to use the Law of Attraction in a no BS, no fluff way to impact and improve your life and tap more into the now. If you struggle with overthinking, you need this free course. So go sign up. It's in the link below right there. And I'm Clark. Thank you so much for being here. Till next time, stop settling, start living. See ya.